Kodiak Island, a land of breathtaking beauty, unforgiving terrain, and untamed wilderness, where every step could bring adventure or danger. Join me, an average hunter, as I face the challenge of hunting blacktail deer alone in one of the most rugged environments on Earth. From scaling steep ridges to tracking game in bear country, this trip is anything but ordinary. With bear sign everywhere, danger is always a heartbeat away. But it's not all peril. This journey is filled with unforgettable encounters, stunning landscapes, and the thrill of a successful hunt. 2 blacktail bucks, a couple of rabbits, and a lifetime of memories. This is more than just a hunt. It's a story of resilience, respect for the wild, and the pursuit of adventure. Join me on this unforgettable journey, and let's dive into the wild heart of Kodiak Island. We are leaving Kodiak. It's going to be about 100 miles of travel by boat. There are 6 unguided hunters on board. This is a transportation boat only.
We just came through Whale Passage into Shelikof Strait.
The name of the boat is Double Down. It's owned by Big Dan's out of Homer, Alaska. It has a deployable skiff. That's how we're going to get to the beach each day. And just like that, I am alone on Kodiak Island. Got all sorts of deer tracks right here, right off the beach. I could climb to the top of that and be able to look down and see what's back in the corner. So we're gonna go up that way. Getting some elevation now. We made it. A lot of elevation in a very short distance. You can see the boat that dropped me off down there on anchor. Rabbit pellets and some fresh deer sign over there. We'll be in this area tomorrow morning. Main objective is just to get an idea for what's moving around and devise a game plan for tomorrow. These tracks look pretty small. That's a pretty cool little den. Yeah. Above the birds. The scope covers that I have constantly try to fall off. Super annoying. The trip to the top was definitely worth it. I think we reached a good spot. Look down into this valley. I just sat here for about 30 minutes. Didn't see anything moving. This is a cliff out in front of me, so I need to work my way around it. This is my first experience on the island. The first thing I've learned is if it looks like grass, it's probably really dense bushes. Getting kind of steep again. Please, no bears right here. Please don't be a bear. I'm kind of forced to walk in front of this bear den. That's pretty sketchy. You never really want to hang out next to these, but kind of have no other way to go. So I decided to go straight down the steep section and hope that how thick the brush was, it would slow me down from falling. And it did. The amount of deer sign on this island is incredible. It's about time to start heading back. They don't want people out after dark. I just saw a hare right here. On my way back to the boat. I think I'll be able to get it. I love me some small game hunting, so I'm backpacking a .22 pistol, just for this reason. Chasing it around right now. It's over there in the snow somewhere. Rabbit down. I always keep my guns unloaded when I'm walking around, for safety. Oh yeah. What a beauty. This is so awesome. Such a wonderful way to end the first day. Almost to the coast, trying to work my way through this brush, but it's also very, very dense. Oh, there's another rabbit. That's a twofer. That's my home for the week, floating out there. They have a skiff that they're deploying to come pick me up from the beach. I've never skinned a rabbit with the intention of keeping the hide together, so this is going to be a learning experience, and a good one. Getting the hide off of the body is super easy. Even around the legs and stuff, you can basically just gently pull. Everything around the head and the mask is pretty hard. These back feet are huge. These are gonna make really good Lucky Rabbit's feet. I did a pretty poor job on the first one, but that's okay because I'll use that for fly tying material. This one, I'm hoping I do much better on. It seems like it freed it up around the eye a little. Focusing on the gums and the eyelids, I'm hoping that this mask turns out pretty good. Just need to be patient. And I didn't leave any eyelids in there. Okay, let's see how I did. Oh yeah, I did pretty damn good. This is what it's all about, guys. Practicing, learning. I got the mask basically perfect. This big, awesome rabbit hide, the Lucky Rabbit's keychain.
Are you going to?
Yeah, man, look at that thing. Look at those babies.
Oh, yeah.
You can rake a lawn with that thing.
Dude, yeah, you could.
It's important on a boat like this where you're sharing a common space with everyone to clean up after your mess. I'm getting dropped off in the same cove as another hunter this morning. We're having a little bit of fun on transport. There's another rabbit. I'm always trying to figure out a better way to share my experiences with you. Here's a mag view with my phone. I see this doe maybe 400 yards away. Turned out pretty good. You can see the boat way down there. Completely new game up here. Grass is a lot shorter. Things are less dense. I walked around to find a nice glassing spot, and the snow started to come down pretty good. It made sitting in the wind pretty cold, so I decided to get up and move around a little bit, which turned out to be a pretty good idea. This is more like it. I've seen a lot of deer at this elevation, about 1,000 feet. I'm gonna work my way really slow through here. I see 3 right in a row, and there's a buck right behind them. There's a ton of does up there on that hillside. I was told by many of my more experienced hunter friends, don't take the first one unless it's giant, especially on day 1. As a resident, I can get 3 deer. With how inexperienced blacktail hunting I am, I should have taken this one. Independent of the trigger time, it was really cool to watch these two move around the hillside. A medium buck and a small buck in the lead. Let's see how they react to a call. Interestingly enough, my dog had the same reaction as I edit this video. I decided to keep climbing up above the elevation where I'm seeing this big band of deer hang out. As I get to the top, I realize that the weather is a lot more unforgiving. That's probably why they're not up here. I think I can see some deer right here with the naked eye. Stick right out with the snow. Looking down on the landscape is a really great way to find deer. Sitting at about 1,500 feet of elevation right now. Seen about 20 deer. Maybe 4 of them have been bucks. I'm gonna go up top here, see what I can see on the other side. I think we're in a good spot for the deer. We're seeing a lot of them. As I worked my way down and along this hillside, the wind kept picking up. And I've also noticed that I'm pretty far from my pickup site. Slippery, super slippery. There's another doe right here. I started smelling urine, and I thought I had busted my doe urine in my pocket. All of a sudden, just boom, out goes a very small fawn. Must have pissed itself. I made a big mistake on my timing. I need to get to the beach now. Boat, this is Kyle. I made it down to the beach safe. I'm out here with my light. Not advised. I just bushwhacked for about maybe an hour and a half. You see how dark it is. I'm on the beach. My boat's coming. Things are looking up. I'm on a different beach than I got dropped off on. Maybe a cod. So I have a little bit of time to wait for the boat. I'm gonna get over on this corner so that nothing comes around the corner and just gets surprised by me being here. I don't see any big scary eyes looking at me, so that's a plus. There's a lot of rose hips here, and with that comes a lot of thorns. I'm gonna get a little bit more of elevation to get out of these thorny bushes. We got some signs of some pretty big bears walking through here. Not super new. Makes me
Makes me question the decisions I made last night. Bushwhacking as fast as I could at dark. There's only one way to get back to the boat, and that's to get back to the boat. Oh, there's some more rabbits right here.
Turns out I am a rabbit magnet on Kodiak.
A lot more bear sign here. Some of it's fairly fresh. At lower elevations, I don't really have a good vantage point to see out. I'm kind of just in the thicker stuff. So I just came through this section, worked my way up here. A couple does just bopped up out of this lower. It's gonna take my time a little bit more. This grass is pretty tall. It's gonna be tough to see them. There are a ton of fawns roaming around in the hills here. The fawns will let you get super, super close. You can get within like 20 yards of them before they even start moving. I've seen so many rabbits today. And the next one maybe I'll take.
These tracks look way fresher than the other ones. And unfortunately, I also started to hear some crashing around in the brush. I had convinced myself that there was certainly a bear over there. I definitely made the right call. There's more to this story. I'll share with you in this video.
Definitely something over there. Hey bear! Hey bear! Hey bear!
At this point, I'm leaving this area. Being by myself, I definitely had a different risk tolerance, and there were certainly a lot of red flags risen.
Fairly suspicious that there's a bear on that other hump. I am heading away from it, back kind of the way I came, but I'm going to be focusing on this lower section. That was pretty cool. A little chipmunk was climbing to the very tippy top to grab a rose hip to munch on.
I did quite a bit of walking to get to a new glassing spot. I had myself a sit, and I watched for a while. I saw a bit of action, but only does and fawns, so I got up and started moving a bit. I know it's just a squirrel, but to me, it's all pretty cool. It was about time to head towards the beach. I encountered a ton of barking spiders along the way. There was a whole nest of them down by the water. I think I'm the only one on the boat going deer hunting today. Everyone else opted for duck hunting. It was a really rainy and wet morning.
There is definitely a little bit of something every time you get dropped off where you are alone and you're kind of responsible for yourself. Most people don't ever experience that.
This was a pretty cool area to adventure. It was much different than the previous locations.
One of the problems of getting sucked into following game trails is there's so many deer up here. They can beat in a game trail pretty quickly and then they move out. It's like a super warm rain. I'm sweating when I have my rain jacket on, but then I'm starting to get wet when I have it off, going back and forth.
I had traveled quite a bit of distance back here and haven't seen really much. So I made a decision. I need to change something up.
I haven't seen a single thing. I figured it's not too late to go try another spot. I think elevation is really key. Everything looked like a week old at least.
Some of these beach landings could be a little sporty. The captain, Colby, did a really great job navigating some of these challenges.
Good luck.
So I'm gonna put on some dry socks and just crush elevation as fast as I can. I know they're up at 1,000+ feet. That's no mystery. That feels much better. Let's get after it now.
Because this was the second half of the day, I knew I had to find my spot fast. So I allotted myself very few breaks on the way up.
Quick work in 1 hour.
Some of these hills are super steep, like this one, but they all end in a rewarding view.
I finally got to the ridge line. I know I don't have much time today. Just spent about a half hour glassing up here on the ridge line, and we're getting kind of beaten down by rain and wind. if the calm side is just a little bit down the ridge, why wouldn't they be there? Why would they be up here just getting smoked by rain, cold wind?
I decided to listen to my instincts. I moved down the ridge a little bit out of the rain and wind.
I see a deer down on this side. He was like 400 or 500 yards. This could be a good meat in the freezer deer.
With how rolling this ridgeline is, it's kind of hard to find a spot where you can both shoot and see the deer at the same time. It took me a couple of tries to make sure those things connected. Harvesting a deer could be a challenge, especially in this environment. It's even double a challenge to get it on video to share with you all. It's not like I have some guy following me around with a camera and a microphone.
Well, I hit him. All right. Hopefully the trail stays well. Blood, 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 blood. More blood. Good amount of blood still. And there he is. Small buck. Let's get this thing out before dark, because I don't want to be up here with the bears and with this thing in the dark.
With 3 total days left and 3 tags to potentially fill, this was a great deer to end the day on.
Right where I wanted it.
The environment that these deer live is so natural and so clean. This meat's going to go a long way, and it's going to taste delicious. One of the biggest struggles about hunting alone in this environment is that you got to carry the entire deer out by yourself. With the amount of predators in this area, you really don't want to do multiple trips. The gunshot's kind of like a dinner bell. Even though this is a fairly small buck, it's going to feel pretty heavy in my backpack. I can assure you that.
Starting my descent, I was up there maybe 1,200 feet. I got nothing but bushwhacking back, but at least it's downhill. All right, I need a game trail that just goes straight up and down this thing. Here we go. This looks a little better. A lot better. But I'm headed towards the water, and then I can find the beach where my extraction point is. Forgot about this little patch of trees. One more hurdle to jump over. You know, the Kodiak brown bear is one of the biggest, meanest bears, and here I am crashing through the brush by myself, covered in deer blood. I read before I came out here that there are some 0.7 bears per square mile. 8 to 9 miles that I covered today. I'm sure that I went through one of their territories, and I am also sure that I'm going through one right now. Just trying to keep the vibe going. Starting to see waves on the water. And I get to the water and I'm cliffed out. So now I have to go uphill and that way a ways to see if I can find the beach. That's the beach that I got dropped off on. It will not be the beach that I'm getting picked up on because of the tide and the waves, which means more walking, lots more walking, probably at least a half a mile of coastal walking, and that's just for the opportunity to get off the beach. Okay.
The brush was so thick, I kept thinking I might have lost the head, so I used the reflection off my camera to verify I still had it. High tide covered up all the beaches, so I had to get a little creative on this steep section down to the rocks.
Not a time to fall. Ah. I'm getting there.
Take your time. Really, take your time.
Well, at least if I fall now, it'll hurt less. Just making sure I don't bust my shit.
Or pack. Hurt yourself in.
Yep, I'm going. All right. Thank you.
Got one. It's exactly like what I shot the first day.
The pack out wasn't honestly that bad.
Back on the boat, I hung my quarters, and then after that, I packaged up the tenderloin and backstrap. It was a good way to cap off the evening, and it got some work done that I didn't have to do tomorrow.
This looks like bear country compared to everywhere else.
This is bear country. I see how there's all the rocks right in front of us?
Yeah.
I'm now going to a beach that's just around the corner from the other day, where I saw that bear sign and had that potential bear.
Whenever you're ready, when this... Okay.
Thank you. We are now on a more coastal beach. That's a quick way to get 50 to 100 feet. Now we got a lot of flat stuff to work through before the next incline. Those on board that have some experience, we're talking about this environment being more prone to having bears on it, higher elevations and flatter. Just being a little extra careful, knowing that this is a hot spot. I'm gonna hunt my way towards that pointy bit. I think there's a shooter buck just across the way here. I'm gonna sneak up to about 250 and see if I can get a shot. He didn't spook, but I saw which direction he was headed. I'm gonna go out and around and see if I can get a view of him here in a little bit. Had some does walk across here. Didn't spook them. I was kind of making some noise up here too. They hadn't looked at me once. There's a lot of noise down there with running water. There's a nice buck sitting about 400. I'm not going to be able to make that shot. I'm going to wait until he moves, and then I'll be able to figure out where to go after that. I need to get across this little waterway. It's the only way I can get to him. He went up and over the ridge. Now's my chance to get down here quick. And luckily, the hillside was very quiet, very fast. I'm going to get up here and check the wind, figure out which side of this hill I want to go up first. I probably want to go that way.
Just before I'm making my move, I noticed two of the other hunters from the boat pop out. I was trying to signal to them to tell them that there was a big buck just up the hill from them.
I don't know if they saw the same buck, but they're in the position where they're going to be able to potentially see him here soon, so hopefully they get to connect at least. So I think what this is they're biting it and peeling it off. You can see the teeth marks a little bit. If it were antler scrapes, I would have thought that some of these adjacent ones would have gotten scarred up pretty good. This is that type of stuff that gets super scratchy, and you hope that it's only a plant-based scratchy. You can't really see far into it. It's got flowing water, so it's pretty loud in there, and you're gonna bump things out. That's a big butthole. Not super fresh. That's a size 12 boot. That's a big pile of poop.
When you hear coastal, when it's referring to Kodiak Island, it's talking about a beach that's not in a bay or a cove. If you find yourself in brush near a coastal beach, you'll probably have a little bit of your soul stolen from you that day. And anything that's not zipped in your backpack or physically tied to you is gone, for sure.
I'll break from that. That's that shit that keeps the city folks away.
Time for a much needed break, a snack, and emptying my boots.
I love these things. When it's like 0 or like -10, they turn a little hard, but otherwise awesome. My pickoff is way down that way, so I don't want to get too greedy and keep going uphill and away from it. But if I get way over there and get an animal and have to come way uphill and out and around again, it'd be bad. So I'm gonna go on this side and then egress to the beach and then follow the beach all the way back down. Some of this stuff can be a little sneaky. You get this little tiny water here, and it looks like it's no big deal. But as you get closer and you look straight down from it, it's like 3.5, maybe 4 feet deep before you could see the bottom. You're getting wet if you step in that thing.
With all the dangers I've encountered this week so far, I'm now up against my biggest.
I see a bear.
I start to move behind this brush and get a better view of him to see where he's heading.
I need to keep my eyes on him. The wind is coming towards me, so he's not picked me up yet.
When I first saw him, he was about 200 yards away, and he was working up the bank, narrowing the distance. As part of my dedication to the story, I tried my best to get a better image of him. This is the best I got, but it was big enough, and I wasn't sticking around for more. By the time I decided it was time to leave, he was well inside 200 yards, maybe 150 at max. I decided it was time to use some safety equipment, being responsible and helping others.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You see the pond down below?
Yeah.
Big bear. He's at the pond line right now, but he's starting to meander uphill, kind of towards the rock structure you guys originally headed towards. Just letting you know.
Appreciate the heads up. He must be right below us then, because we're right at the rocks, so thank you.
Well, he shouldn't pick up wind of me as I'm scurrying through here, nor will he hear me. Bears don't have impeccable hearing. It's their smell that is impossibly good. More times than not, bear will leave you alone. You spend all your time as an adventurer trying to be aware of the bears and stay away from them. And then when you go bear hunting, you try to get close to them. And what you realize in bear hunting is that it's pretty hard to get to a bear. 300-400 yards is not super uncommon. I'm just gonna keep moving all the way out. He's gonna dominate the area. No deer is worth it. Plus, if I were to keep hunting that area and then I'm skinning a deer, I'm gonna be sitting there with my head down and that guy's gonna come find me. It does disrupt my hunt big time, but it is not worth it. This is getting thick. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Just trying to get to the shoreline where I can get a little bit more visibility. New game plan for the day. First available, closest to the beach. Get it packed out quick. See if we can make that happen in the last little bit. Bones, deer. The bear I saw was at the lake behind this, along this valley. And if we drop a deer over here in the next hour and a half, all the scent is going away from him. So at least the bear that we know is probably in a good area. I popped down to the beach. The surf is getting pretty kicked up. I might have to get taken off sooner than later. But in the meantime, I will be beachcombing. Pretty cool buoy. Shoe. Got another shoe. Oh, this one's a flip-flop. We got a pink croc. This one's in pretty good condition. Maybe we'll find a pair. Tote. More shoes. There's a common theme to this. It's shoes, crates, rope, and plastic bottles. Oh, and tons of buoys, obviously. Got a boot, some buckets, some buoys. A whole bunch of them right here. All sorts of trash.
This will be my last day of hunting. Another hunter is headed up to the same valley as me, so we decided we'd head up the hill together. The views on this side of the beach were beautiful. It was a great morning. Once we got to the top, everything opened up pretty wide. There was a lot of space up here to hunt.
What a view.
I pretty quickly saw a skyline deer. I decided that I was going to make a pursuit. It looked like a nice buck.
He's moving. Got him. Smoked him. Yeah. I knew that first one had to count. I'd like to believe that he's laying down right over there. All right. Got a good shot on him. I'm going to see where he's at right now. That's not blood. He came down through here somewhere. Oh, he's down right there. Just below us directly.
Having been alone all week, this was a really cool moment to share with another person. He even grabbed my camera and got some images of me approaching the deer. That was pretty cool.
Alright.
And yes, I am in my underwear. This was a great deer, a great way to end the trip. Soon after we got to the deer and took some pictures, the other hunter took off to continue his hunt for the day, and I was alone again. The processing went smooth, and the view was spectacular. The weather was better than it had been all week. What a treat. I'm noticing when I'm packing this deer that there's probably twice as much weight as the first deer. This is a real lesson for me. Bigger means heavier. I don't really have a system down on how to pack things, so I kind of just tied a lot of knots and ended up with a Steven Tyler looking deer at the end of it.
This is gonna hurt.
The camera plays a massive trick on this hill. It makes it look much more gradual. I can assure you it was steep. I was falling all over the place.
I still have quite the pack out left, but I'm losing elevation, and that's a good thing. Beautiful. We are getting closer. It's just kind of thick and steep. Thick is actually kind of okay. If it's steep, it slows me down from falling. Starting to hear individual waves crash on the beach. We're getting closer. We're just kind of butt sliding now. We're so close to the shoreline, but it's so damn steep and slippery. I really hope this doesn't cliff out. That'd be really poopy. You just gotta embrace it. Hey boat, this is Kyle.
Call the boat.
I will be at the beach ready for pickup in 15 minutes. Oh, the beach. I made it to the beach, and I think I still have a deer back there. Fell down a whole bunch of times, but it's a gorgeous day. Bagged a great deer. Looks like we got a little bit of time before the boat comes over, so let's walk the beach and see what we find. Typically the good stuff's up in here. More of these containers. What is this thing?
Looking back at this footage, I still don't know what this is.
Fishing net. Buoy. Water jug or a gas can. What have we here?
I really thought this was a plastic snowboard. It turned out to be just a very unidentifiable piece of plastic.
Little kid's shovel. Dead starfish.
The perfect afternoon and the perfect ending to a great day.
I can see my boat, so I'm gonna walk back to my pack. Really fun little walk, a couple 100 yards down the beach. Feels good on the legs to take everything off and just go for a small walk to stretch things out. Feel actually quite nice right now. Get a good look at this pack that I brought down the mountain at least 1,000 feet in elevation. There's a whole buck in there, plus my survival gear.
I don't have meat processing down to a science, so I kind of just started cutting. I know in general what to do, but I think I do it differently every time. I got this blade changer kit. I like it. It's better to be safe and not cut myself. There was quite a bit of work to be done in the last day. I gotta fly tomorrow.
Out of here, my underwear. Trying to catch a fish in Alaska. What the hell's wrong with me? You got another one on? I never caught a halibut in my life.
No, you're good now. Now are you?
Yes. Now I've got a picture to take home.
Let's go.
Hell yeah! In my underwear. I guess that's how he shoots deer. I thought that's how I catch fish.
I gotta grab the bat.
I just came out here to ask you a question and I got a halibut.
The last dinner on the boat was awesome. We had fresh halibut tacos. The captains on the boat work as halibut captains in the summer, so they were able to give us a little master class on how to clean a halibut. It was a real hit with everyone on board.
And then you just look how that just right. I can see like where you poke that and it's like.
Like I said, this is about as good as it gets. The next day we headed back to Kodiak. We saw a bunch of whales. They were pretty acrobatic. I want to show you the accommodations on the boat. This is where the captain sits, and this is his view. This is the dining area. We comfortably sat 6 people here each night to eat and hang out. It could comfortably fit a couple more. This is the small kitchen, and this is my bunk. When the boat's underway, we stash the skiff. The skiff gets mounted up to the top of the back deck. It was nice that it was so sunny out and clear when we came through around the strait again. It allowed us to actually see the island. It was glass-like conditions down by the docks. Really cool to see all the mirrored images of the boats. Thank you, Big Dan's, and the crew of the Double Down. Epic.
Great week on Kodiak Island. If you want to see more adventures like this, check out the YouTube channel Wicked Alaska. See you on the trail.